Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Welcome everyone. It's October 2023. I can't believe it. We're almost at Christmas. Welcome to the PIHRA member orientation. My name is Lily Arguello, and we'll be spending the next 60 minutes together. So thank you for spending your lunchtime with us. A little housekeeping. We are recording this, so we will send out the recording actually will be available at the beginning of next week on our YouTube channel, and we'll send you all that information immediately after this webinar. Give us a little bit of time after we complete the webinar. We will also be sending you these slides. So feel free to take notes on anything that is not directly on the slide. But we will be sending this out to you all with the slide, with a link to our YouTube channel, and with other information based on your questions during this event. So just want to let you know, we'll be using the chat primarily to interact. And I'm really looking forward to interacting with you. I like to focus on what you need from this webinar. So at some point during, and I'll go through an agenda in a moment, but start thinking about what do you want to walk away from with respect to this webinar. Most of you have just joined PIHRA, or perhaps you received a membership through the California Employment Law Update Bundle. So I'd love to hear from you. It's like, what are the things that you want to walk away from? What will help you get the most out of your membership in the next 12 months? So start thinking about that. Again, please start engaging on the chat. I'm so glad to see a lot of you uh, already doing that. So welcome, welcome. And let's get started with our agenda. So what are we going to cover today? I'm in the welcome part, and we'll give you a general update, I started this once the pandemic started because things started to change pretty rapidly. So we'll do a little bit about that. And then we're going to run a poll. Like I said, I want to know what you want to walk away from this webinar with. What are the questions that you have? What is the information that you think you'll need to be successful in your career, and also be a successful PIHRA member and get, a return on the value, a return on your investment in this membership. So we're going to run a poll, and in the poll, you'll have the ability to respond to what's that number one thing you want to walk away from. However, if there's additional things that you want information on, please put it in the chat. I should be able to cover a lot of that. If there's a question that is really specific to an individual, or that we need a little bit more time together to respond, I would happily schedule some time with you so that we can have a one-on-one conversation. Or if there is a question that I have to do some research on, I will follow up with you, either all of you, if it's a really great question and you all need to know the answer, or if it's a more individualized question, I will follow up with you directly. But start thinking about what are those 1, 2 things that you want to walk away from today. Then I'm going to introduce myself a little bit more at length, and also my team. And we have a special guest that I am really excited for you to meet, Rob Bolt. He's the chair of one of our 18 chapters. He's with PIHRA Gateway Cities, and we'll talk a little bit more about that too. Then I'm going to go into an overview of PIHRA, member benefits, the learning and networking opportunities that you have through PIHRA, and then just wrap it all up. Again, want to make this engaging. It's more of an informal presentation because I am going to be focusing on what's happening right now, what's happening with you today, and also your questions. What do you want to walk away from? So let's go ahead and get started. And I see some familiar names. Thank you so much. Aparna, I see that you're with us. I'm so glad you're here with us today. And so glad that you are all with us today. So general update. We have been doing up to 3 webinars per month. We had wanted to start doing more online learning that's live before the pandemic, but the pandemic really rushed that. And so I'm really excited to say that as members, you get free webinars through us. And we do up to 3 a month, like I said. So that's around a $300 value just there. These webinars are available for recertification credit. So you don't have to leave your home. Although I know I really want to leave my home nowadays. So we have a lot of live in-person uh, learning opportunities and networking opportunities as well. Back in June 2021, our chapters started meeting in person. Now, many are meeting on a monthly basis. But what was wonderful about this opportunity is that pre-pandemic, a lot of our chapters met at the same time, um, the same day of the month, every month. And now we're changing it up because what the pandemic taught us is that people have different needs, and some may want to continue to meet online. Some can meet in the morning. Some have a better opportunity to go to a meeting if it's at lunch or afterwards. I'm a great example. I have to drop off my daughter. She's a teenager now in the morning. So it's very difficult for me to get to breakfast meetings, but I can get to a lunch meeting and I can sometimes get to an evening meeting. So I'm really excited to uh, that's been happening. And I could give you an example as we go move in of chapters that are doing this. So we'll get into that more as well. And then the best place to find out about the exact locations and the topics of our PIHRA meetings is on the PIHRA calendar. So I want to encourage you all to go to the PIHRA.org/calendar URL that you see here frequently, because we're always updating that calendar, and you can get more information about the meetings that are going on and register for those meetings there. So that is the update. I don't see any questions. Yeah. Oh, I see. Hi, Ellen from West Hollywood. Fantastic. Uh, oh, great, Annabelle. Great question. We'll get into that. Aparna, I see you. Hot topics. What's top of mind? You want to get to know our members. Fantastic. Allison, welcome from Huntington Beach, one of my favorite places. And Rob, joining from the airport. So that's really fantastic. We're all really busy. I know it's Q3, so let's get going here. Um, and my partner, Elisette, who you'll meet in a moment, is going to launch our poll. Are you ready for that, Elisette?
I'm looking for it, but I can't find it on the dashboard. Do you see it?
Let's see. I do. Here, let me launch it.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Do y'all see it? Please respond. I do see. No one's responded. Hopefully that you could see the poll. The poll asks pressing questions, question mark. What information are you interested in receiving during this webinar? No one's replied yet. Elisa, do you see it on your screen?
Yeah, I see it. People are responding.
Oh,
We
okay.
have 11 out of 19 that have
Oh,
responded so
fantastic. For
far.
some reason, it's not moving forward for me. Uh, so you could see it and you could control it now? Fantastic.
Yes, yes,
All right.
thanks.
Let me know when we have, I want 100% participation if possible.
Yeah, we have 16, 17 out of 19 that have answered.
All right.
Almost everyone is about to answer. We have
All
one more
right.
person that needs to answer.
All right. Let's give it another 10 seconds and hopefully I could see the results when you present the results.
Okay, looks like everyone has answered, so I'll end the poll
Thank you.
and share the results. Do you see the results on your side?
I cannot, which is strange. So something's funky. You want to talk to us about the results, Elisette?
Yeah, so the majority of our attendees want to know about PIHRA seminars and conferences.
Okay.
26% answered that one. The second highest is monthly meetings and PIHRA benefits. 16% of you answered that one. And then the third one, PIHRA chapters and HR certification, and also volunteering.
Chapters, certification, volunteering.
And then 5%, only one person would like to know more about PIHRA and SHRM.
PIHRA and SHRM. Okay, we should be able to get to that. If you have any specific questions about the seminars and conferences coming up, please let me know. Thank you so much, Elisa. I don't know what happened with the poll, but that was strange. So let's just keep going and move through quickly so we can get to the seminars and talk about monthly meetings and things like that. So I'm right here in the middle. My name is Liliana Arguello. Everyone calls me Lily. You can call me Lily as well. I have a SHRM SCP, so I would be happy to talk to you about HR certification. If you have any specific questions, please let me know in the chat box. Now, I will let you know that certification is very unique to each individual. So I may think I may ask you to set up a meeting with me if you have more specific questions. But I believe in certification and would love to, I could talk about HR certification for a while because it's a big topic. I was a PIHRA member before I ever dreamed of becoming on staff. I have a background in organizational development. So as a consultant, I did a lot of organizational assessments. I facilitated strategic planning processes. I did some corporate culture studies, some organizational structure studies, and some management training. So I wanted to get internal into the HR function, either in OD or in learning and development. And at that time, actually, my career took a turn. I went into the nonprofit area doing more project management and development work. I ended up at the Girl Scouts of Greater Los Angeles, doing membership building. So for me, the Girl Scouts of Greater LA and the Girl Scouts in general, that is one of the largest leadership development programs for women in the world. So it really was a great combination of my skills and learning membership. But that membership piece was more about partnership building in the inner cities because I am a Spanish speaker. I have an MBA in international business. And so I was working in the lowest income quartiles of LA, which just so happened to be predominantly Latino and in Spanish-speaking communities. So that's where my boss, who I'll introduce you to, Rafael Rivera, he found me on LinkedIn. So I like to say this, and I know that's a lot of information, but I say this because please build out your LinkedIn presence. Employers are looking through LinkedIn to recruit. So please use that as kind of a way to present yourself to possible employers. Anyway, enough about me. I want to introduce you to my right hand and fantastic colleague, Elisette Sapian. Elisette, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, thank you, Lily. Hi, everyone. My name is Elisette. I am the membership coordinator here at PIHRA. And as Lily mentioned, we are, I would say, my right hand too. We're a very close department, a department of two. So we oversee membership and we're always accessible, reachable to help you with anything regarding your membership benefits, answering questions. I may be the first person you speak to if you dial the main number. So feel free to always reach out to us if you have any trouble accessing your membership benefits. If you have questions about PIHRA, etc., I will be monitoring the chat box during the webinar. So I see that there's some questions already. So Lily and I will try our best to answer. And if I see something on the chat, I'll interrupt and I'll have Lily answer live. So thank you, Lily. I'll hand it back to you.
Yeah, I'm going to get to your questions. I want to get to them now, but let's really quickly finish with these introductions. So on my left, you see Matthew Pallets. Matthew is a volunteer leader. I say that because we're always looking for volunteers and we're primarily volunteer led. We'll get into more of that in a little bit. But if you have any questions about your membership or have some suggestions, he is a great kind of neutral party, very accessible. You could reach him here at the membership chair at PIHRA.org, or you see him at any of our events. You'll likely see him and me together. Or him walking around. So he's a great advocate for membership, and he represents membership at the board, at the PIHRA Association wide board level. So let's keep going. I'd love to have a Rob unmute and introduce himself. Hey, Rob.
Hey everyone, can you hear me? All right, sounds good. I am joining from the airport. Still in California though, so that's nice. But Lily, I'm impressed. MBA bilingual. I didn't know that.
Well,
That's
you
awesome.
knew we both went to Pepperdine, right? We have
Well,
a lot of
I did
Pepperdine.
global business as well. So
Oh, wow.
yeah, cool connection there. But my name is Rob Bolt. I am the current and past and multiple past chair for Gateway Cities. Gateway Cities is the chapter that meets in Cerritos. Um, so yeah, we're here to talk about volunteering and what that looks like for you all. Excited to see a lot of new members, part of PIHRA. My journey with PIHRA started 9 years ago. There was three of us that met at a conference, and Gateway Cities at that time was a dormant chapter. There was no one there, and someone said, "Hey, do you want to help start this?" And so I looked around and said, "Sure, why not?" So in the beginning, it was me and two others. We met in the conference room of a law firm. We literally would call businesses in the Cerritos area, walk around, pass out flyers, trying to build membership. Today, we're still a smaller group in comparison to some of the larger ones, but the culture we have, the familial atmosphere, the connections we have is pretty amazing. So it's been a big part of my life for 9 years. And those people I started with are now great friends. So um, yeah, really, thanks for having me.
Thank you so much, Rob, and please chime in as we move forward. So I kind of feel like I want to answer some of these questions, although I'm trying to get to the first one here, but I want you to. Oh my gosh, we have someone, Stephanie from Texas. Thank you. Aparna, you're in New York. That's fantastic. So I'm trying to just want to make sure I answer some of these questions. Okay, let's see. Where's the first one? Where's the first one? Annabelle, welcome, welcome. We're going to get to the chapters and know about current hot topics. I don't have a list of the current hot topics, but we could talk a little bit about that. Let's see here. I saw one. What's the difference between, okay, the California Employment Law Update and the PIHRA Los Angeles Employment Law Update meeting? I saw that. So the main difference is that, well, there's a lot of differences, actually. The California Employment Law Update is a comprehensive review uh, that's all day long, and it's reviewing the latest employment law that's just been signed in by the governor. So we have a fantastic employment law expert, Greg LeBate. He's from Shepherd Mullen, that is going to be looking out for what the governor is signing in to, I think he's signing things in on Saturday. So that's going to be the latest law that's just going to be signed in, and we're covering that. I don't think that the hour and a half employment law update at PIHRA LA is going to be able to cover all of that. Um, and then that's going to be Greg LeBate's kind of overview. For the rest of the day during the California Employment Law Update, we're going to be uh, going a little deeper into like California Privacy Act, any expansion on the Cal Warren Act. So it's going to be a lot more comprehensive and a lot more people for you to connect with at the California Employment Law Update. So great question. And if you have any further questions, we'll continue to talk about that. I also saw something else. Is there Catalin, hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. There are some online chats that we can provide you. We're going to cover that, but Elisette, I don't know if you've already given her access to PIHRA Connect. So PIHRA Connect is a great place for you to interact with other members online. I do see that you want to get into the Anaheim conference. It's sold out. So I don't think we're going to be opening up some spaces, but Elisette can give you our programs team's email. They're at programs.org. No, wait. Programs at PIHRA.org. You could always reach out to them, but I would sign up for the Burbank Glendale as soon as possible because that's close to selling out as well. This is the most sought, California Employment Law Update is the most sought out law update in California. We've been doing this for a long time. This is our specialty. We have fantastic employment law experts that are going to be there presenting that you'll want to know. I'll suggest that you sign up as soon as possible. You can sign up virtually for these, and the on-demand recordings will be available for I think, at least 2 months, up to 3 months. We'll talk about SHRM certification a little bit more when we get to that. And let's move forward. I think I answered all the ones that got me pretty excited. um, no, you do not have to be granted access to PIHRA Connect. If you are a member, uh, you should already have access and it should not ask you to fill out a form. But if you're non-member, it may make you fill something out and just kind of log in and sign up. But you should not have to, you know, have any, there's no wall that's making you not making non-members not be able to sign in. You may not have access to everything on PIHRA Connect, but you should be able to sign in. So I think I got to most of the questions, those hot questions that came up. So let's do a quick overview because I know some of you asked about our SHRM PIHRA connection. So here's our mission. I'm not going to read it to you. We exist and we've been around for over 75 years to be a resource for the HR community in Southern California. We have expanded that. We serve anyone who has organizations and works in HR in California. So for example, you may be located in Texas, but have some facilities in California. We also serve you. And we do that through providing innovative programming that's affordable and local, and professional development that's real actionable and that answers the questions that you may have. And also high impact networking opportunities. So Rob talked to you about our Gateway Cities chapter. This is where you're going to meet other HR professionals face to face. And we do that through our monthly meetings, through our evening socials, and through our conferences. And so, I love being a part of PIHRA. I love my work because we have a fantastic membership and over 200 fantastic volunteers who really pay it forward in helping other HR practitioners. So we've been doing this for over 75 years. We are the largest SHRM affiliate in the country. I actually think that we are the largest SHRM affiliate in the world. I think one of you asked about that connection. So we actually are chartered by SHRM, but we were created like a couple of years before SHRM. So I like to say that SHRM was, I think we were established in 1944 in downtown Los Angeles. So if any of you have been around for a long time and remember, we used to call our chapters districts. Los Angeles is District 1. Because that's where a group of personnel managers got together and said, what is the sort of education that, right back then they were called industrial relations people. So what is the education we need? How do we build a pool of HR practitioners. What do we need certifications? And so in 1948, SHRM was established in the Midwest somewhere, and you probably all know that the SHRM, the Society of Human Resource Management, grew, 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 grew. I think now they have over 200,000 members with over 500 affiliates throughout the world. So we are the largest affiliate of SHRM. We are separate entities, however. We're 501c6s. I believe SHRM is a 501c6 as well, but we are a affiliate in good standing with SHRM. Again, we are separate entities, so SHRM has its membership and we have our membership, but we're fantastic together. And if you have more questions about that, I'd love to extrapolate and tell you more. Here's some key players at PIHRA. Tara Fournier is a SPHR SHRM SCP. She's our 2023-24 president of the board. So we have an association board, and then our chapters have boards. And we can get a little bit more into the chapters in a moment. But she's fantastic. She actually is also very connected with SHRM. She worked with SHRM. SHRM is located in Washington, D.C., and then moved over into HR. So she is the Chief People Officer for Enthusiast Gaming. That's out of Culver City, but I believe that her home is in Orange County. You'll see her at the California Employment Law Update at the Anaheim site. So, and she's just fantastic and just a great leader leading us into through the pandemic and into the future. Now, here's Rafael Rivera. He's our Chief Executive Officer and my boss. I told you a little bit about him, but I really credit him. He's been with PIHRA, I think, 12 or 13 years now. And I credit him for really taking us to the new level, rebranding the PIHRA annual conference is now the California HR conference, as an example. And he's just built a fantastic team and got us through the pandemic in fantastic shape. And we're still rebuilding from that, but he really helped us get us through that. I'm going to pause for a second and see if there's anything in here that I should be looking at. Fantastic. All right. So, a lot of people want to know, well, who are our members? And so this is just a snapshot. We have right now a little over 3,500 members. Just to compare, for comparison purposes, we had close to 5,000 members pre-pandemic. So the economic fluctuations do impact membership, but we still have that community. They're still in our database. However, again, we're right around 3,500 members. The bulk of those members are at the manager level, so HR manager, HR business partner level, more generalist. Right around 28% and are HR directors and above. We also have a group that we call service providers that represent 9% of our membership base. And service providers are like the insurance brokers, the staffing folks, the financial advisors, the wellness firms. And so they are a great group. I don't want you to be fearful of them. Most of them who are involved, it's all about relationship building for them. And what I really like working with them because their job is to get to know what HR needs and what the hot topics are in HR. And so one of the benefits of that is they attend a lot of our PIHRA chapter meetings, and they're the first to know when HR job is opened. So I go to PIHRA Long Beach meetings a lot, and I know our partners at Bolton. Rob is from Bolton. We had another individual who was very active in Long Beach that was from Bolton, and he knew about several HR director jobs in the downtown LA area, and they're able to connect people. So these are people who are connectors, and I just want you to, watch out for them. And they're just great folks to know. Rob, there's a little plug for you. And then the top four industries that are represented by our membership are number one, manufacturing, two, consulting, 3, nonprofit, and healthcare. That doesn't mean that we don't have members in other industries. Those are just the top 4. All right. Okay, some of you had questions about uh, chapters and things of that sort. So this map shows you where all our chapters are. Again, we have 18 chapters. If you're a PIHRA member, when you register, you will select out your preferred chapter. Now, this could be a chapter that you live close to or that your company is close to. Our largest, so I think it was someone who was asking about their chapter. Do you want to, is it Annabelle? Annabelle, do you want to unmute and let us know, what area you reside in, more or less?
Yes, hi, thank you. I had the question. So we have our corporate office in Gardena, and we also have a location in Carson. So I wasn't sure, which chapter I should
Great.
really look.
Fantastic. That's a great question. So you likely I think you said Gardena. The closest chapter to you is PIHRA South Bay. They meet out of Hawthorne. And actually, I think they're meeting today or they met yesterday. And usually they meet for breakfast. But this is a great example. And by the way, someone else had a question. If you are a member, you can attend any chapter meeting. It
That
doesn't
was
have to
my
be
other question,
yeah,
yeah.
it does not have to be the one you selected as your preferred chapter. So say, for example, like you have 2 locations, Annabelle. You may one day say, I'm just going to go to a PIHRA South Bay meeting. That topic is of interest. It's in the morning. I'll shoot over there before work from home. But you also may be close to PIHRA Long Beach. They meet out of the Grand off of Willow, I think off of Willow or Spring. And they have lunch meetings. So you'll may say, oh my gosh, this is a really interesting topic. They have a lunch meeting. I'll just go there during my lunch hour. It's close enough for me. I would suggest that you allocate around 2.5 hours, depending on traffic, to attend one of the meetings. Each meeting is pretty similar if it's during the day and during the week. It's a traditional chapter meeting. And Rob, you can talk a little bit about what your meetings look like, but there's usually a networking component you check in, you're networking, there's a meal component, and then you have a professional development component. So that's why there is a separate charge for a lot of the chapter meetings because they got to pay for the venue and the breakfast. Rob, is that pretty much what the chapter meetings look like for you?
Yeah, so usually it's about an hour and a half. And in the chat, I said a lot of people will base it on where they work. So maybe a lunch meeting to get out of the office. Or if you live in a particular area, you can catch a breakfast meeting on the way to work. That also works. So ours is a breakfast meeting, and we have people that live in our area, but then maybe work in LA. So they come to our meeting in the morning and then commute on in. I'd say the first 20, 30 minutes is getting breakfast or getting lunch, networking, saying hi to people, going over some announcements. And then you have about an hour of a speaker on a particular topic. If you need a jet after that, I think people get up and get out. Some people stay around to chat and get questions answered, but usually an hour and a half is the total time.
Fantastic. And here's what I want to talk about, what's new post-pandemic. So a lot of chapters, like, for example, Rob and Oscar. So Rob's with our PIHRA Gateway Cities. And I think it's Elizabeth, she's going to stop by. I think you have a great event coming up, by the way. Aren't you having a horror stories event, Rob?
We just had it
I missed it.
yesterday.
I
So
knew I saw something.
2 events we just did. Most groups will do like a social. So a couple socials throughout the year in addition to an educational event. For ours, we got together at Ballast Point in Long Beach. It was purely networking. We had a couple sponsors. Literally brought one of my colleagues who's a magician on the side, and he walked around and did magic tricks, right? Just to get people to engage and get to know each other outside of that educational meeting. I had 40 people there. So it was great. Yesterday we did spooky stories of HR employee relations. So one of our board members talked about, just disaster scenarios with leave laws and investigations and kind of the learnings that he had from those scenarios to share with the group. So, depending on the topic, we try to pick topics that are relevant to what's going on in legislation, in trends within HR, or what. Sometimes giving feedback from our group, like what does our group want to hear about? So they range from, I think, the soft topics and leadership all the way to, leave laws and legislative issues.
Fantastic. The other thing, so just so you all know, our largest chapter is in PIHRA South OC. Right now, pre-pandemic, they had 700 members. Right now, they have right around 450. They meet out of Irvine, and what's wonderful post-pandemic is that some chapters are changing it up. So South OC and North OC, which is our third largest chapter, they're here on this map over in the East area, and they meet out of Anaheim. They've been doing it something a little different. So 1 month they'll do a traditional chapter meeting, like the ones that me and Rob described. The next time they'll do an evening event. So that could be either purely networking, or it could also be the networking plus a learning component. I think that PIHRA South OC just did a compensation workshop in the evening. I have a list of things that are coming up, so I'll share that with you. North OC, what they're doing is they're having a morning meeting 1 month, a lunch meeting the next month, and then a social on the third month, and they're just rotating that. So every chapter is doing something different. They're quite autonomous. They have their own board. So in this example, Rob is a volunteer leader with Gateway Cities, and he's the chair. So if you are interested in volunteering, this is a great way to get started. And Rob, maybe when we go forward, we could talk a little bit about whether you have any volunteer opportunities at your chapter. But it's a great way, or if you want to talk now, we talk about that a little bit too. But it's a great way to gain visibility and learn those leadership skills that you need to be a volunteer, right?
Yeah, sure. I'll chime in. Um, I think the main thing for volunteering, and we talk about it at our chapter, is just showing up and being consistent. So it's been 9 years for me, and sometimes that's the battle of being at the meetings, right? Being available, everyone's busy. So that consistency is really important. So when someone wants to volunteer and get on the board in our chapter, we ask them to actually be a part of our group for more than 5 months, right? When someone comes right away, we want to see that they're going to be involved, they're going to show up, they're going to get to know people. And really it's about finding energy, like discovering what energy you have and what gifts you have to contribute to the group. There's all types of roles, whether it's greeters at the front door, whether it's someone managing the money, whether it's someone working on communications and marketing to our members, or helping with professional development and thinking of topics and getting speakers. So we have all different types of roles that we need to fill. And just because you see someone that's overseeing a role, they need support too. So there can be subcommittees within those groups. So if you have energy and you want to get involved and kind of build that connection with other HR leaders, I think it's a great way to do it. Just be sure that you want to do it for more than a month. That's all I'd say. Very helpful.
Right. Right. And one of the things, because we have 18 chapters, we also have 3 specialty groups, which I'm going to get into. Before you commit to a volunteer, maybe you just volunteer once, and just be clear about that. But you may want to attend different chapter meetings, because find your tribe. The same thing here. Each chapter is a little different. They have a different culture. They function in a different way. So if you live near one chapter and you're like, not quite feeling it, I get it. I like to work with people that I enjoy being with, because you're investing your time. So, I want you to invest your time in a place that makes you feel good, and that you're able to do something exciting. So attend a couple chapter meetings, particularly if you're interested in being a volunteer leader. And like Rob said, maybe you just want to volunteer a couple of times. Just be clear about that, and they'll find something for you to do, I'm sure. So I'm going to keep moving ahead. We do have a foundation, the PIHRA Foundation, and right now their focus is on providing scholarships. So they're providing 2 scholarships. the URL to get to the scholarship information is here. The HR degree scholarship is basically for perhaps you or someone on your team is pursuing an HR degree. You can get up to, I think it's $3,000 for your HR degree. That deadline, scholarship application deadline is November 19th. Again, all the scholarship applications are on PIHRA.org/foundation. They also do an HR certification scholarship, and that deadline is December 17, 2023. Please, if you're interested, please go to this URL to find out more, or just contact me afterwards for more specific information. We also have Emerging Leaders. Emerging Leaders was formerly Young Professionals. This has been a little bit dormant since the pandemic. I'm really hoping that they pick up and start doing some events. They used to do quarterly events, but they are here to help those who are entering the HR profession or perhaps mid-career and transitioning into HR to build their network and engage in just learning what it's like to be an HR practitioner. So they are also always looking for volunteers. So that's a great community as well. We also, I don't have information here because I kind of need to look at that slide a little bit differently, so I didn't include it here. But we have a government advocacy team. If you're interested in employment law and providing testimony on Capitol Hill, that's a great group to be involved in. If you're interested, let me know. We could talk offline about that. They do have virtual chats, probably once a quarter, and where they'll bring in an elected to talk about some new or existing law that they want to gather more information on, or something that they're working on, so that you can get more information on what's coming down from Sacramento in terms of California employment law. So that's another great group. That's again, the government advocacy team. It used to be legislative affairs, and they're really active. All right, so some of you asked about benefits. We haven't gotten to seminars. I'm going to get there. I answered some of the questions up front, but we're going to get that there in more depth in a moment. But here are the top 6 PIHRA benefits. Now, I've calculated and monetized the value of benefits. Right now, we are providing over $12,000 worth of value in PIHRA benefits for only $150 to $175 a year. It's fantastic. So the HR education and training opportunities, you can get more affordable and accessible HR professional development than with PIHRA. We have 18 chapters, probably 60 to 70% of them meet monthly. So that's where you're going to go for your professional development. Our seminars, like the California Employment Law Update, and our conferences like the California HR conference that usually happens in April and May, they're fantastic. And we could talk a little bit more about that in a moment. The relationships that you're going to build through PIHRA are just priceless. I built friendships through PIHRA. Now, some of you are like, wait, this is a professional association. I don't really expect to meet friends here. Well, it's very likely that you will. I have a great example of a friend through PIHRA Long Beach. They're one of my friends now, but she tells the story of finding her best friend at a PIHRA Long Beach lunch 25 years ago, and they still attend PIHRA events together. This is a longtime member, Paula Cohn, and her and Jenny Klein, they met through PIHRA. You could see them at PIHRA events together, or at least they'll arrive together. So another one of our volunteers says this is where they met their HR Fab Five. And what that means is for her is that this is where, HR internally can be a pretty demanding job. If you're working in HR, you get it. And sometimes it could be lonely and difficult because you're dealing with a lot of difficult and sensitive information that's highly confidential. And sometimes you don't want to talk to someone internal. You want to be able to get that that information about, what should I watch out for in this situation? Or, how do I deal with the CEO that's not really listening to what the risks are involved with what he wants to do? This is where you're going to find them through PIHRA. Those 5 people that you're going to have on your speed dial for when you have a question that you just don't know where to go to, and that you need that, you'll need that person that is going to hold the information in strict confidence. Obviously, you're not going to go into too much detail, but that they've experienced this as well, and they'll let you know how they maneuvered through it. I think that's priceless, and this is where you're going to meet those people. We also have an HR advisory hotline that you can also call, but these are professional HR practitioners that are certified that will give you kind of the nuts and bolts and answer those questions there. If you were to purchase that alone, just that is like $1,200 per year. We have an online compliance center with all kinds of, there's an employee handbook builder there. There are salary comparison tools there. There's so much there. I could go on and on, but you really get a lot of value from these top 6 benefits. I see something in the chat, so I'm going to pause for a second. Oh, great, Annabelle. I'm glad you're interested in the government advocacy team. Yes, please check that out, and check out the calendar often because they have chats. I'm hoping at the California, if you're signed up to go to the California Employment Law Update, they are doing their best to invite an elected to give an overview of whatever is on their legislative docket. But if any of you have worked with electeds before, it is really difficult to, confirm them on a certain date, but that team is working really diligently to have that happen. And so if that does take place, it'll take place during the lunch at the employment law update. Let's see what else. Did not know was an advisory hotline. Yes, you got to call them. Now, please allow up to 2 weeks after your membership has been processed for access. But if you need immediate access, you're going to get me and Eliset's email address. We can give you immediate access if that's something really urgent. But it's through our partner Mineral, which you see here. It's the PIHRA Workplace. It's powered by Mineral. You see that up on the slide. There's so much there. Here's the phone number to call. Again, if you've been a member for a while, you should already have access. And if you have any trouble, just email us. We would be happy to get you on this platform. I just responded to some questions. Allison, are recertification credits available for paid PIHRA webinars, etc.? Are there free options to earn recertification credits as well? So yes, 90% of the chapter meetings and the webinars have recertification credits approved for them. The webinars are free for members. Some of them are free for all guests, but members get all of our webinars for free. So hopefully that answers that question. And 90% of them, you will have access to recertification credit. You'll likely get the code for the recertification in an email following the webinar in that example. Or if you go to a monthly chapter meeting, they will have a HR certification certificate there with the codes there. So before you leave, you'll get that certificate, or again, it'll be emailed to you. All right, what else is up here? Yes, Mineral used to be Think HR. It's a fantastic invoice. Oh my gosh, Elizabeth, I'll talk about certification. I'm running out of time, but I highly recommend certification. So before I leave this slide, this is the PIHRA Workplace again, powered by Mineral. Something that's new this year is that you get access to PIHRA Learn. It's an enterprise-wide learning management software where you can train your employees. So you've gained access to train your employees, and there's right around 200 core courses available. They range from customer service to some safety ones. The ones that aren't included are those mandatory trainings that the California uh, um, legislature has said they're mandatory. So, for example, the sexual harassment training for managers, you can pay to get that, but it's not included for free. And I think there's an OSHA safety, a mandated safety training that you can purchase. It's not included in the PIHRA Learn, but I definitely suggest you check that out if you have access now. If you don't think you have access, just email us today and we'll look into it and hopefully be able to provide you access today or for sure by next week. All right. We also have an HR team membership. It's kind of like a corporate membership. So if you have a large team or even a team of two, you'll get a discount on the membership and also discounts on any virtual conferences that we host. So feel free to ask us about that. Fantastic. Great. I'm glad you guys are talking about HR certification. All right. So you've asked previously, this is our online community. It's called PIHRA Connect. If you have any questions or want to ask people about the California employment law update and if they're going to be there and you want to engage people, go there. This is a URL, pihra.tradewing.com. I think Elisa already put it in the chat. And you could ask questions about anything. You see, it's pretty active right now. I think we have over 1,200 active folks on this platform, and it's very similar to a Facebook type of platform, but there are different communities. The larger, I think it's called the PIHRA Connect community, anybody can join. The chapter communities are for members only, and there might be some other member-only spots there, but most people are in that larger community, so feel free to go there. Volunteer. We talked about volunteers. Some of you had questions about volunteering. Please feel free if there's anything specific we can add here. Put it in the chat. But I do want you to know that volunteering and volunteer leadership, and when I say volunteer leadership, that's what Rob was talking about. When you invest your time in a formal volunteer role, usually those roles are at least for a year. But I think that you need at least 2 or 3 years in a volunteer role to really make an impact and learn what it is to really function at a high level in the volunteer role. But for me, it's volunteering has impacted my career in so many different ways. I have a fantastic supervisor. So when they see me volunteering, they're like, oh, I'm so glad you're volunteering. And they see that as a plus because I'm learning about planning time, planning events, planning for the future, also managing my time in a different way. I'm able to delegate things and learn about delegation at that volunteer level. And it really translates in the workplace. Also, for me, volunteering, people get to know you at a different level. So it's not who you know, it's who knows you is my philosophy. And when you're volunteering, especially in PIHRA, that's where they're going to learn about your work ethic, the quality of your work. And so when an opportunity arises in their firm or organization, or if someone finds out about a position and they'll think of you because they know about your work ethic, the quality of your work, your interpersonal skills, and things like that. And I think those are the 3 things that a lot of employers are looking at. So volunteer. I cannot emphasize how important this is. I'm volunteering right now for an organization that I'm really passionate about, and I'm really excited about it as well. And I know Rob has volunteered. We're running out of time, but Rob has a lot of volunteer experience, and I'm sure he'll love to share that with you and how important it has been in his career. But many of you talked about and asked about seminars. So we have a lot of HR education. It's in our mission statement. So this slide covers all the different types of learning that we offer. As a PIHRA member, you do get a discount. You get the member rate. So if For example, you're going to a PIHRA chapter meeting that is not your preferred chapter, just register in advance online. That way we can ensure that you get the member rate. If you just show up the day of, they may not have you on their member roster, so they may charge you not only the on-site rate, but also the non-member on-site rate, which could be up to $20 more than what you would have paid before. We talked about free webinars. I think we covered that. CELU, many of you are attending CELU. This is a time where if you have any specific questions about that, I can cover that. Anaheim is sold out. I don't even think we have a wait list. So I would sign up for the October 24th on-site event at Burbank. We're also doing it streaming. If you've signed up for either one of these, you will have access to the recorded content as well. That recorded content should be available for at least 2 months, if not more. So if you're not able to catch something, you could always catch it on the recording and get recertification credit for that once you've seen it on the recorded platform. If you're attending virtually, you should receive access to the virtual conference platform early next week. So you don't have access yet, but you will have access by October 17th. If you go to the website, which Elisa, I think there's a link, and because you want to see what sort of content will I have access to, you can see all of the presentations that are being offered, our speakers on this site. And so although you don't have to sign up in advance if you're going in person, you may want to start planning your day now. I suggest, because you don't sign up in person or there's no sign up process for the events, if there is, for the learning sessions, if there is a learning session that you absolutely want to catch, get there early, plan on it, because it may fill up and I don't want you disappointed because you didn't know that you had to get there quickly. So yeah, I see some questions in the chat. I'll be at the Ellen, I'll see you in Burbank. I'll be there virtually. Awesome. Great, great, great. For those attending virtually, I highly suggest that in the future you go in person. There's nothing like the in-person experience. We have people interacting. I feel like I learn better in person because I'm right next to somebody who's also interested in the topic, and I could check with that person for clarity. I can invite them to have lunch with me during the day. We have a happy hour. So if you're attending in person, at each event, we'll have a happy hour immediately afterwards. And this is where you can also talk a little bit more to other attendees about what they learned. You know, learning in community is so important. There's research out there about learning in community. All right, I got 2 more minutes, so I'm gonna, yes, we have HR certification. So here, go to PIHRA.org/certification 23. We have 2 virtual certification courses coming up. I did the course through I just got my SHRM, not just, I think in 2021, it feels like I just got it. In 2021, I got the SHRM SCP certification. I don't think I could have done it without our prep instructor, Richard Dawson. I think he's one of the best preparation instructors on the West Coast. He has every certification there is. I highly recommend him. And I've gotten feedback about other prep companies in the area that haven't been as great. We will also be doing more prep courses in the spring of 2024. I see some questions here. Ellen, when I say get there early, it's for the learning session. So if there is a learning session that you're like, I gotta get there, you know, get in the room as soon as possible to get the seat that you want. So yes, get there for the learning session. Breakfast starts at 7:30, so you don't have to get there earlier than 7:30 for the day. Yeah. All right, this went long. Gosh, did I talk that much? Anyway, I want to challenge you all. I got a minute left. I'm going to send all of these to you. Here's all the meetings going on. There's usually many more meetings because, and there's not as many this month because we have the California Employment Law update. So I challenge you to go to at least one chapter meeting by the end of this year. If you haven't already gone to one, go to, I have to challenge myself to go to socials and networking events and professional development. So I challenge you to go to at least one each quarter, whether it's with PIHRA or another organization. Just don't do this on your own. Don't wait until you need to find a job, right, Rob? I know we're about to finish and you probably want to go, but any last words?
No, I think it's great. Take advantage of it. Attend meetings, get to know people. It's an investment in your career as an HR professional. So I think sometimes it's hard to get out and network. If it's a challenge for you, go do it, because you'll never be able to get past that challenge unless you get out there. So, or go in groups, find someone to go together.
Yes.
Sometimes it's easier.
Yeah, and if you want someone to go with you, email me. I'm in LA and Long Beach and at the PIHRA West LA events a lot. If I can't go, I could introduce you to someone who I know will be there. So just get out there. It's so important. Rob, I see Rob at Pepperdine networking event. It's been a while, but anyway, I know I'm late. Please feel free to connect with me. Me and my team will get back to you, if not right away, within 24 hours of the work week. Thank you so much for spending your lunch with us today. Again, I'll get these slides to you. And if you have any further questions that I wasn't able to cover, let's set up a time so we could chat. Have a great day, everybody. Again, thank you for your time. I look forward to seeing you at the California Employment Law Update. Take care.
Thanks, Lily.
Thank you, Rob. I'll talk to you soon. I'll see you soon.
Sounds good.
Bye, everyone.